Dots. I'm Dr. Latifat. I'm the host of the Money Fit MD podcast. This is where we help badass women physicians just like you learn simple and effective tools to build wealth from the inside out. That way, we can create wealth and bigger impact without all the burnout. Enjoy the episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode with your host, Dr. Latifat. How are you guys doing today? I hope my audio is way better than the recent episode that I just did that I had to do. Was pure gold, but I know the quality wasn't as great as I normally would like it. But I hope that it blessed you so much that you're like, what quality are you talking about, Latifat? Today's episode is going to be another powerful episode, and I'm excited to actually share this with you guys. So if you are an employed physician or you know an employed physician, this is going to be one that's going to be very helpful for them, because I believe that there is a way that you as an employed physician can be indispensable. And I'm going to share that with you guys in a little bit. So this is something that I came up with when I was flying down. I went to a conference. My husband and I went to a conference in Florida. And on our way back, I was, I think I was reading my Bible on my phone, and I was reading the book of Proverbs. And this scripture there was a scripture that I'd read, multiple times. It's from Proverbs 3. But this time, for some reason, as I was reading it, it just felt like it was meant for us, like for you. And it's so applicable to the things that we're going through in medicine today. So I decided that I'm going to share with you guys. At first, I was like, well, is this one of those things that's just for me to learn by myself, keep to myself, and not share? But I do think that it's going to help someone. So here I am on the podcast, sharing it with you and believing that it's going to make the impact that it is meant to make in the people that it's meant to make it in. And by the way, if you find this helpful, then I definitely want to challenge you to share it with another physician. And part of why that's helpful is that there is so much pain and suffering and hopelessness and feeling of being stuck. And to be honest with you, like those things affect us negatively, not just in terms of like our day-to-day basis of how we spend our time or use our time, but also in terms of like our health. It affects our relationship, affects our kids, it affects how we show up in our lives, affects like the things we're able to enjoy or not enjoy. And if you think about how many hours you're spending working and showing up at your, I'm going to call it 9 to 5, even though as physicians, we know that it's a 9 to 5. It is so important that we have better work environments. So I'm excited about this episode that I'm going to share with you guys today. And I really do hope that it helps you. So again, I'm calling it How to Be an Indispensable Physician Employee with a non-abusive employer. And the reason why I'm saying a non-abusive employer is that if an employer is abusive, there likely isn't much that you can do to thrive in that situation. Meaning that if, there's been an email that's been going around on social media about a physician that shared the crazy unrealistic expectations that her employer has of her. It includes things like, if you take a 30-minute lunch break, it means that you have to extend your day by 30 minutes. It's like, in what world is that even acceptable? In what world is that even okay? So this does not apply if you have a abusive employer. Yes, you can still listen, you can learn, you can see how you can improve things for yourself on your way to creating the freedom and helping yourself live and move your badassery to a safer place. However, if you're someone where, objectively speaking, maybe there are some physicians that are thriving in your hospital, or there is potential to improve your relationship with your employer, then I want you to be positioned to be an indispensable physician. And just to clarify, like when I say indispensable physician, there are things that could happen in the world, like economics can happen in the world. Like if the boat is crashing, if the boat is about to like turn upside down, it doesn't matter how valuable you are, the owner or the captain of the ship's got to keep the boat afloat, right? So doesn't mean you can never be let go of, but at least you know that you have done everything that you can to improve your own experience. And I'm not one of those people that would go and tell you that being an employed physician is bad. No, No, it's not, because there's no one size fits all. We're all meant to do different things in different seasons of our lives. So being an employee physician may be one of the smartest things that you do in this season of your life. There's no shame in your game, no blah, blah, blah in your game. Doesn't mean you cannot diversify, doesn't mean you cannot create assets in the way that I talk about it. I mean, all the assets that I've created so far have been done while employed. And I was so glad that I was employed. I enjoyed who I was working with. I love my patients. I love my colleagues. And, there's no job that's perfect, even if you run your own company or your own business. But the bottom line is, none of that like trash talking of employed physicians as if you're stupid for being employed. No, you're not. You're just deciding what you want in the season of your life. And if it's working for you and your family, why the heck not? So I want to talk about that scripture real quickly. And yes, I know that I have a diverse audience, but the key is you're here for the wisdom, you're here for the knowledge. But I've always been transparent with you guys that the things like my life, the things that I teach, the things that I learn, some of it I learned by myself, but a lot of it is learned by God's grace. And so this is one of them. The Bible is my huge inspiration for who I am, the things that I'm doing, how I'm living. So it is what it is. If you're like anti it, if this like causes you to break into rash, this may not be the right podcast for you. I love you. I'm happy to, recommend, or you can go find another podcast. However, if that doesn't like cause you to have like anal sphincter or hypertension, then yeah, let's roll. So here is the scripture that I was talking about. It is from the book of Proverbs, and it talks about let love and faithfulness never leave you. Okay, bind it around your heart and write it on the tablets of your heart. So essentially what it's saying is let love and faithfulness never leave you, and remind yourself about this every single day. So I think love is clear. The meaning of love is clear a little bit, but I'm going to talk about it a little, and just educate us so that we're clear about what I mean when I talk about love. So when I'm talking about love, like loving humans, I don't have to like you to love you. I can love you because I think that's what I've been called to do. I love my humans. I love physicians. I love women physicians. Doesn't mean that I like everybody, but it means that, my goal is to love everybody. But this scripture is saying love and faithfulness, let it be your mission, let it be your guide, let it be like your GPS, right? And that people make is when they hear things like love, they assume that it means don't have boundaries. They assume that it means don't be honest. It assumes that it means make it like all positive all the time. And in fact, I dare to say that that's not love. That love is the exact opposite of that. Love is being honest. Love is being kind, meaning that when you're communicating, you're not communicating with the intent of hurting the other person, but you're communicating with the intent of being honest, but kindness is also part of that language. Loving someone or loving your employer is also creating boundaries as well. Like, because I love my employer, I mean, I'm not working clinically right at this moment, but because I love my employer, it means that I want to serve as long as it's in line with what I know to be true and good. I want to serve them to help serve patients. I want to serve them to make their practice profitable, because if it's profitable, then it's going to be a sustainable practice and they can compensate me well. They can do more things to take care of the other staff members, and they can do more to fulfill our mission of both of us, them and mine, which is to take better care of our patients. So part of the boundaries includes things like maybe not being accessible when I'm not meant to be working. Maybe I would turn off my phone, not have my computer when I don't need to have that. And the reason why that's a sign of love or an act of love is because when you're well rested as much as you can as a physician with the hours that you do, you can serve better with clear-minded, right? When you are clear about what you need and the expectations, that's also another act of love, meaning that I will be honest with you and let you know that me seeing the patients, me charting, me responding to their labs, me responding to their messages is not realistic to be done perfectly every day. That is an act of kindness. And in my opinion, it's an act of love. Me charting at freaking 3 o'clock in the morning is not an act of love. if the only reason why is because I think that's what my employer has said, and I have not voiced my objection in a clear, kind way that keeps the mission at hand. And the mission ultimately is to serve patients as best as we can, to improve the health of our community, and to help the people that I work with have a profitable business if they're for profit, so that they can last for as long as they can, or they're meant to, while serving our patients. Does that make sense? Because what I find is that people think in order to be a good physician, it means that you don't voice your opinion, you don't voice your objection, you're available all day, every day by phone. Anybody can message you at any time. You have your computer available. You miss all your kids' events. You never hang out with family. You never take a sick day off when you truly are sick. And that is actually the exact opposite of love. If you love, you would not bring your contagion to work. If you love, you know that, well, you could not rest and work sick for all these days, or you could rest and come back ready to serve again like you should be serving. I'm not saying like call out at the first glimpse of like whatever, but y'all know what I'm talking about, because we know what we do as physicians. We don't take care of ourselves because we think that's service, and that is just stupid. That's not service, that's stupid. And I know you're like, Latifa, you keep calling us out because I love us. I love us. And if you're going to be spending your time with me on my podcast, and I'm going to come like, just like stroke your feathers, and not tell you the truth, then why? That's not love. I'm literally am practicing what I'm telling you, which is like love and faithfulness is something that I have to also hang around my own mind and remind myself every single day, so that I can show love and kindness to you guys. There was an example actually inside of our money school recently where I think it was like the last 2 weeks before I recorded this episode, our last two sessions, we did 2 sessions that was about taxes, which is optimizing taxes, whether that's as an employed person, woman physician, or as someone that owns their business. And my thing for my women was that I wanted them to get so much value from those 2 sessions that session alone would like literally be payment for everything that they paid to be in our community for the entire year. And it was amazing. It was good. The feedback was powerful, and I'm so excited about I love my women, first of all. So I'm super duper excited that the conversations that we had is literally how to take control and decide what you want from your taxes, right? It's not something that you do passively, it's something that you do actively. And so when I was prepping for that session, though, I got sick. Listen, we've been around the world 10 months, no mask, no respiratory, blah, blah. Landing in the US, did I wear a mask? I think we did. I don't even remember. But anyways, within like a couple of days, the bugs were like, yo, we smell some fresh meat. What's up? And so I was not feeling well. And so I had, given them my word that I was going to give the session. But I also was now sick and needed to rest. And what I had to decide between was, I knew the content that I was going to teach them, but I was going to actually have it as a PowerPoint to teach them. But I literally had to make the decision and say, if I created the PowerPoint, it would take some of my energy. And I could have my team do it, but I didn't have it on time early enough to be kind enough to give them like ample time. So I had to make a decision of either I push myself and do the PowerPoint, or I rest, so that instead of working on the PowerPoint, I can actually rest, show up for our session, and be able to teach with the energy and the knowledge and the brain and mind, whatever presence that I knew that they deserved. So that was what I did. So my act of kindness to me and to them was actually not doing the PowerPoint. I still showed up, I still taught. It was a powerful session. We did it in 2 sessions instead of 1, but the bottom line was that was an act of kindness and act of love. So just understand that part. So love for your employer, as long as you're working for them, with them, it's actually a good thing that will work in your favor, because again, you're being honest with kindness, with your own mission and their mission in line, and as it aligns. Does not mean be stupid. It means communicate, right? And care about not just you only, but also their mission. Where both of those align together is where magic happens. But then the other part of that is a faithfulness. And I actually, y'all, listen, English is my second language. I don't like punctuations and all that. And I don't like punctuations, but I did this stuff recently that has literally changed a lot of things for me. I downloaded a dictionary on my phone. And the reason why I downloaded a dictionary is not because I need a dictionary, like whatever, but what I was starting to observe is that when you're trying to find the meaning of a word, a lot of times we'll go to Google and we'll Google it. And what Google brings to you is a bunch of like people's thoughts, diluted, like not even like second generation definition, but like 40th definition. So a lot of our words are starting to lose power. So I just kind of got tired of that. And so I have a dictionary on my phone. It's called a youthmology or something like that. But I was kind enough to y'all to actually go look up the meaning of faithfulness. And here's what it said, and I really do like it. It said, faithfulness is being true, being honest, trustworthy, and loyal. Okay? And loyal means abiding by the rules or terms that you have agreed to. So you are loyal to the terms that you've agreed to. You're loyal to the relationship based on the agreement. And that's why y'all need to read your contract before you sign a contract. And y'all need to have a lawyer look at your contract before you do a contract so that you can be loyal to the words and the terms. Your words can actually matter. What you said you would do, you actually did it. And if it's not in your contract, then that's, someone is like, well, we're going to want you to do like 5 more hours without pay. Loyalty does not mean doing it. Loving does not mean doing it. Loving is being honest with them and you kindness and deciding what the boundaries that you set for yourself and what the content of your contract says. Are you guys picking what I'm dropping? So it is so important because again, being loyal doesn't mean doing everything someone tells you to do. It's doing what you agreed to do when you sign that dotted line. So again, show love, practice faithfulness, and you will be an amazing employee. Show love, practice faithfulness, right? And I've defined that term for you guys, and you will be an amazing employee. In fact, I will say that if you are a great employee, you will be very, very clear about your boundaries. Like when I was working clinically, I am quick to volunteer for things that I choose to do that is in line with my own mission and the mission of the organization. And sometimes that means like, we would need you guys' help looking at this stuff or covering this thing because someone is sick. I'm happy to volunteer for that, right? But part of this is also you learning how to be quick to say yes to help so that when you say no, people know that it does mean that it really is a no. Right? Are you guys making sense? So being clear is really, really important. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to tell you guys real quickly 4 things that I believe that is a summary of the conversation we've had right now, which is how to be an indispensable and great employee. It is not by being foolish. It is not by being stupid. It is not by being someone's doormat. No, it is number 1, having clear boundaries. Having clear boundaries, communicating those boundaries is important. Number 2 is practicing and prioritizing rest and recovery. If you are freaking charting till 2 o'clock in the morning and then waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do that again, that's not an act of kindness. And I know you're like, well, Latifah, I have all this stuff to do. Because here's what's happening. Many times we grumble in the back, but we don't communicate verbally, and we don't communicate kindly, and we don't communicate asking ourselves what's in it for the other person. So for example, if the problem is charting and I'm trying to figure out how my employer can pay for me to learn how to chart efficiently without decreasing their coding or billing, whatever. Imagine if I actually had that conversation and said, you know what? Our goal is to serve the patients and to make sure that the company has a profit. And in order for us to be able to do that sustainably, we also need to make sure that we're resting and we can do a great job so that we get good ratings and our patients can keep coming back. In order to do that, we need to learn how to work with the systems we have right now and figure out how can we chart effectively, efficiently, without costing money. We're losing money when we're not charting well. We're losing money when I'm too tired, or all of us are too tired and too sleepy to do it well. So maybe there's a program that we can pay for that the organization can have come teach and help us learn how to chat effectively. Maybe we can learn how we can have our team and our staff help us work better to serve us as all part of this goal of keeping the business profitable and serving our patients to the highest quality. And again, if your work is abusive, they're not going to say yes to that. But if you're helping them see how this is in their best interest, not because it's all just to make you as a physician happy, which is also important, but it has to be in alignment with their mission and their vision, which is to serve their patients, to be sustainable, to make a profit. And I believe that when physicians chart effectively, when physicians rest well, that actually helps employers. Good, non-abusive employers, right? So just keep that in mind. There's CME funds, there's professional funds, there is discretionary funds that they can also use to be able to supplement and help them be better. So that's number two. Number one is clear boundaries. Number two is and communicating the boundaries with kindness, with the mission and the vision in mind. Number two is prioritizing rest and recovery. Number three is do what you can do to help the team, as long as it isn't preventing you from showing love and being faithful. Do you guys get my point? And now we've defined love. So now we have the same reference in mind. We've defined faithfulness, we've defined loyalty, right? As long as those are not being compromised, then, right, you can serve the team in that capacity. And then number four is, this is a really important one, guys, not being part of a complaining culture that will self-perpetuate the beliefs, the thoughts, and keep reminding you of why this place sucks and reminding you of why you don't have a choice but to stay where you want to stay. There is room for venting. I'm not saying you shouldn't vent. I think venting is healthy, right? And I vent to, I have girlfriends I vent with. However, it is really, really easy for other people to want to poop, like throw poop on your lawn and get you into this culture of complaining and this mindset of complaining. And what happens when there's this mindset of complaining and this culture of complaining is it actually drains your energy. It makes you see the negative and never see the positive of the place that you work in. And it continues to remind you, because if what people are saying is true, if all those complaints are truly true to the extent that it's true, then you may not want to stay there. But then when you're not moving, when you're not leaving, you think you don't have a choice. And now here you are being pushed by all the complaining against the wall of you saying, but I cannot move, then I cannot leave. What does that do to you? It actually hurts you. It actually makes you hurt more. It actually makes you hate your life more. It actually makes you hate your job more, and it makes you have less joy. And when you have less joy, it shows up in the way that you enjoy your life. It affects your relationship with your significant other and your kids, if you have kids. It affects how you show up for your patients as well. I think a doc with a pep in her step is an asset for your company. And my hope is that the things that I talked about today will help you, regardless of whether you've read the book of Proverbs or not. But when I was reading, I was like, man, I think this will be helpful for my women. And that's why I shared it with you. So I hope this has been helpful. I would love for you to let me know by leaving a review. Like, to be honest with you, like sometimes sharing those things is literally leaning into my own truth and my convictions. And if I'm doing a podcast and telling you that I'm giving you the good stuff, but I'm holding back on the good stuff, that's not me showing love and kindness. And that's not me being loyal or being faithful to the whatever of our contract, whatever contract that is. If you're listening, we have a contract, an invisible contract. But anyways, I hope that's been helpful for you. And don't forget, guys, we have our Know Your Money More challenge. So if you haven't signed up yet to join us for this challenge that's starting in a couple of days, this is going to be 5 days of you working with me and a group of women physicians. I'm going to be teaching for those 5 days. It's going to be from 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. And what I'm going to be teaching is going to be principles that's going to help you know your money more. So you will learn how to change your money story, because this is such an important part of leaning in and growing to the next level with your money. We're going to talk about how to really lean into that freedom-minded mindset that you need in order to create freedom. Because what happens is most people think you have to have freedom before you your mindset changes. No, that mindset has to precede the change that you want to see. So having more of a freedom mindset is going to be important for you to create a life of freedom. We're going to talk about the secret to actually taking action and creating power money moves, because if you don't make money moves, you're not going to get any results that you want to create. So I'm excited about this challenge. There's a lot more that I'm going to be sharing. It's not fluff. It's the truth of what has literally transformed my journey and continues to transform my life. I'm going to be having like members of our money community who pay me money to come. They're also going to be part of this challenge as well. There is general admission, which is $97, which is, in my opinion, like a crazy steal, considering the fact that like to work with me with a VIP day, one-on-one, costs 5 figures. And so you get to work with me inside of the challenge for 5 days for $97. And some of you guys are going to be opting in for the VIP option, which is $297. And what the VIP option means is that you get an additional hour day as a group. All the VIPs get an additional day with me as a group where I'm going to be coaching, answering any questions that you have, as long as it's affecting your ability to practice medicine with freedom, the ability to make money moves. We're going to be talking about it. I'm going to be coaching you on that. And so when you think about the impact that that is going to have on your finances, it is going to be like crazy amazing. And the other amazing thing about VIP as well is for those that are VIP, that participate, that show up, that get coaching, if at the end you don't think you got 10 times your return on the investment you made, I will, we can return your money, no questions asked for you. So those are things that I want you to know. I'm excited about it. It's going to be powerful. It's going to be life-changing. And look at the show notes. It's moneyfitmg.com/FLP if you want to be a part of it. It's going to be 5 days, money moves, money challenges, and I cannot wait to see you there. So I love you. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the challenge. And if you're not joining us, then I'll see you in the review below. Love you and see you in the next episode. Goodbye.